Hey everyone, Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures here, and in this video I want to discuss how to pick the right large power station. When I say large power station, I mean above 2,000 watt hours. I think 2,000 watt hours is still a very, very portable power station, and so we're looking at larger power stations approaching 3,000, even 4,000 watt hours worth of power. How do you pick it? Because these are all very similar, but very different power stations, all in a very similar range, going from 3 to 4,000 watt hours. All of these are by Bluetti, but these all have what I think are very different use cases for you. So I wanted to make this video to kind of help you decide what type of large power station that you need. These types of power stations are not the ones that I recommend for just your average camper, your weekend overlander, that sort of scenario. That's what the smaller power stations are for, the 1,000 watt hours, the 2,000 watt hour power stations like the Elite 100 or the Bluetti Elite 200. Those are perfect for that. These are more for either going out off grid for extended periods of time where you need a good amount of power. These are ones you would consider for maybe a van build out or a truck camper or a trailer build out. Backup power for your off-grid scenario. And especially for a couple of these, like really serious home backup solutions. So that's really the use case. If you need just really a lot more power than a standard power station, you're considering, backup power for your stuff, or for your, like your off-grid travels, or for your home. That's when you start looking at these. And the prices for these have come down substantially. The price per watt hour for these is just mind-blowing in how inexpensive per watt hour they are. So what we have here on the table right here in front of me is the Apex 300. The Apex 300 is a 2,764 watt hour power station that is specifically designed for modularity and expandability in your setup. And we'll get into the details of that in just a little bit. This is the Elite 300. I've had this for a little while now. This is my favorite power station for our setup. And I'll show you why in a little bit. This is a 3,014 watt hour power station that is designed to be ultra portable. Now you can, just look at the size difference between 2,764 watt hours and over 3,000 watt hours. This is like half the size of this with more power. That's insane, and that's why I love the Elite 300 so much. This is the brand new Elite 400. Just got this one. This packs almost 4,000 watt hours, 3,840 to be exact, but almost 4,000 watt hours into this very portable, very tightly packed package. You can look at it. Look how thin this thing is. It's got the wheels, it's got the retractable handles. It's like luggage. But this dude is mind-blowing. It is also, with that much battery, the heaviest of the bunch, and I'll get into those specs. But yeah, that's what we've got. The biggest power station on the table is the smallest watt-hour power station, and then this one is the most. But very different use cases between these two. Let me go through the specs of all these just so you can kind of compare. And then we'll get into the use cases. From a power output standpoint, the Apex 300, the reason why it is so large, because it is packing a 3,840 watt pure sine inverter in this thing that can just pump out the power. So when you're talking, things like home backup, this thing can crank out the power to run your whole home. The Elite 300 has a 2,400 watt pure sine inverter. Plenty of power to run just about anything you're going to throw at it, especially from an off-grid living standpoint. You can, run a microwave and an induction cooktop and a heated blanket off this and still not use up all the power. that 2400 watts of powering this thing. And then over here on the Elite 400, it has a 2600 watt pure sine inverter. So again, I mean, you can plug a ton of stuff into this thing and you're not going to reach the capacity of that 2600 watt inverter. From a charging standpoint, all of these will input from AC, from your wall outlet, at 1800 watts. That's reaching about the max that your standard home wall socket can output. So from a standard wall socket, all of these max out at 1800 watts, which, I mean, when you're considering, 2800, 3000, almost 4000, 1800 watts, you're still talking about recharging these from full in under 3 hours, which, considering the size of these things, that's bonkers. I remember back when you couldn't charge a 500 watt hour power station in that amount of time. I mean, we've grown, and that was just 5-ish years ago. I mean, the technology has grown that much in the last 5 years. It's crazy. Solar input, very different when it comes to solar input on these things. The Apex 300 has dual 1200 watt inputs. You can plug in two 1200 watt solar arrays, so 2400 watts just as it sits. That is expandable to over 30,000 watts of solar being able to come into this. I can't quite comprehend that, but yeah. But as this sits right here, 2400 watts of solar, which for an off-grid type of scenario, that's incredible. The Elite 300, still a very respectable 1200 watts of solar, and then the Elite 400 accepts up to 1000 watts of solar. Still a crap ton of solar, but the Apex 300 wins by a long shot in what it can do from solar input. And the Apex 300 and the Elite 400 can both dual charge. So you can input solar and AC at the same time, giving the Elite 400 a 2800 watt, input capacity between both. I'm not even going to do the math on this one. It's a lot. Another key difference between these three is the weight. The Elite 300 is the lightest of the bunch. It is a very respectable 56 pounds. I can pick this up and move this around, no problem. 56 pounds is very portable, which is exactly what this thing is designed to do. The Apex 300 comes in at 83 pounds. It's not quite so portable. It's you get a workout if you're moving this thing from place to place, and you kind of want to set this down and leave it there. Just leave it. Strap it down, put it in a corner, plug everything in, and just leave it. Yeah. The Elite 400 is the heaviest. It is 86 pounds, but like I showed a minute ago, it's got the handle and the wheels to make this rollable. So you can easily, if the power goes out and you need to plug stuff into this during a power outage, you can just go to the closet, grab it, wheel it into the kitchen, wheel it wherever you need to. And this thing is a lot more portable than this, even though it weighs 3 pounds more. Because it's designed with the wheels in the thing, and it's even designed with these little pads here on the back, so you can set it down like that and just plug things vertically into it, which I think is really nice and handy. Now, some unique features between these. I mentioned the wheels, the portability. That's what makes this special. If you look at the front of this, I mean, it's a standard power station. There's nothing fancy up here. There's no major 30 amp outputs. There's no Anderson outputs. This is this XT60 is your solar input. No outputs there. It's got 4 AC outputs. It's got standard 2 USB ports, 200 watt USB-A ports. It's a standard power station. Just everything that you normally get in a power station. The Elite 300, with its portability in mind, it has the big 30 amp. Where'd it go? There we go. It has the big 30 amp plug so that you can plug in your RV, your van. We use it in our Ross Monster. That's how we use this thing. This is our Elite 300 strapped down in the Ross Monster where it lives when we're on our trips. So this provides us good amount of backup power when we are off grid, if we happen to not have enough solar to keep our house batteries topped up. This is our backup. So this 30 amp port here on the Elite 300, super nice if you're running, you know, an overland setup, trailer, van, RV, whatever, truck camper, for that. It also has 2 USB-A ports, one 100-watt USB-C and a new 140-watt USB-C. So if you've got high-powered USB-C devices like, you know, a high-powered laptop type of thing, this can run it no problem. But then this also has the XT90 30 amp output here. So you can run this and wire USB ports around your, you know, your off-grid vehicle. You can run a diesel heater off this with no problem. You've got this 30 amp output here that gives you some flexibility in how you wire things up to it, which makes it really handy. So that's another reason why I love the Elite 300 so much. It's got so many features packed into such a tiny package that it's just a lot of power in a very portable package. Now, the Apex 300, like I said, it's designed to be modular and expandable. This is one of the options for it. It is the DC hub. So you notice there's no DC outputs here. There's no 12-volt socket. There's no USB ports. No nothing here. That's because if you want to put this in like a van or an RV or a trailer or a truck camper, and you want to use this as the foundation for your power setup, that is exactly what this is designed to do in that situation, and that's where the DC hub comes in. So this gives you your USB-A and your USB-C ports right there. It gives you 2 DC 5 amp barrel plugs here. It gives you 2 10 amp cigarette lighter style sockets, but it also gives you a 50 amp Anderson plug here so that you can mount this in your, you know, off-grid vehicle or trailer, whatever, and then wire out from that USB ports all around your living area, up by your bed, 12-volt sockets places, diesel heater plug-ins, wherever you want to. That's where this comes in, as it's designed to be, you know, kind of stationary, but then expandable. That's where the DC hub comes in for that. This also is expandable from a power standpoint. So this comes with, you know, just over 2,700 watt hours worth of power, but you can daisy chain Apex 300s together, and then with either the B300K or the B500K expansion batteries, then piggybacked off of these, you can build out a system over 58,000 watt hours worth of power just with the Apex 300 and the expansion batteries. That's bonkers. And then from that, you get additional solar input. So this can take up to, like I said, over 11,000 watts of solar. It has, on this side, these are the expansion ports here to connect expansion batteries up to it. On this side, you have a 50 amp input here, so you can wire in your home your home electrical system to this and have it stationary, like in the garage. Your home system can come into this. Expansion batteries for power, like this can run an entire home, is where I'm getting at here. It's got 30 amp and 50 amp outputs here. Little tiny AC input here. It's cute. But they also have another hub similar to this that is designed for home integration, to wire all your home stuff into it. That's where the Apex 300 really shines. So if you want to build out a serious home backup solution, the Apex 300 is the one you want, because you can have bonkers amount of power and be able to literally run your whole home. You can run your microwave, your cooktop, your heater, your air conditioner, your washer, your dryer, and it'll all be fine. I mean, you're going to determine how long your power lasts, but you can run all that off of this, which is running your home as a backup solution. So if you live in an area that is prone to power outages, this may be a serious consideration for those power outage scenarios. Because if you have enough solar, you could be off grid. I mean, if you wanted to build an off grid cabin somewhere, there you go. All the solar, you're good to go. So yeah, so that's the Apex 300. It's designed for modularity, DC hub, home integration kit hub thing, massive expandability. You know, if you want to build out an RV or a van or something and just have something as your base power, so you're not having to deal with figuring out how to, you know, batteries, solar chargers, you know, inverters, you know, like a full typical RV or van power scenario, or power system. This makes it super easy to just wire all that in. Then the Elite 400. This is your very serious portable home backup solution. Remote work area. You know, if you have a work site that's remote and it doesn't have power, but you need to run power tools and stuff, this right here is perfect for like a remote work site because of the wheels and the handle. It has more power than all of these, but makes it super portable to be able to move it around and roll it places. I wouldn't suggest this for, you know, for a truck camper setup necessarily, because it's not as portable to lift in and out and move around as this is. It doesn't have the 30 amp plug. This is more, you need good amount of AC power, you know, DC inputs as well, or DC outputs as well. But this is, you know, roll it around to different places, work site, you know, take it to your neighbor next door who also needs, you know, he needs some power to run their fridge when the power is out, type of thing. That's where the Elite 400 is. You need just the most amount of power you can possibly get in a portable package. And I mean, of these, only the Apex 300 is expandable. So that's where this one comes in. This one's not expandable. This one's not expandable. You know, you're fixed at 3,000 and 3,800 watt hours. But the portability here is what matters. And how portable do you need it? This portable or this portable will do. Do you need to run, you know, be able to plug your RV or your van or your truck camper like us into this and get power into your, you know, your off-grid vehicle? There you go. If you need to move this from room to room in a house or take it to your neighbors or remote work site, this. And let me throw one more thing into this mix. If you're going to use any of this for mobility, what makes a huge difference with that is this. It's the Bluetti Charger 2. Because when you're in a vehicle, you don't necessarily have AC power to keep things recharged. This is an alternator. This is basically an alternator and solar charger. So this is dual. It brings power in from your alternator at I think up to 800 watts, which is pretty significant. You know, being able to charge it that way. I've got, you know, red arc systems that don't charge that fast off of these things. So 800 watts, solar charging, does dual. So you can get up to, I think, 1,200 watts with this thing of input between solar and alternator, and crank in the power to your, you know, power station setups when you're on the move. So this makes it really, really handy if you're building out an overland rig with either the Apex 300 or the Elite 300 to be able to charge these on the go, manage solar, all that sort of stuff. The Charger 2 is where it's at for simple plug and play. I mean, they've got all the things here for inputs. This can also reverse charge if your battery goes dead, your starter battery. This can also reverse power to it and kind of be a jumper for it, which is super handy. But makes the connection super easy here on the bottom, and it's mountable. So if you're going to build out a you know, an off-grid overland type rig with one of these, Charger 2 is how you keep them charged while you're on the go, and it makes it super easy. But let's end this with pricing between these, because they're very similar, but the cost per watt hour, let me get my notes here. The cost per watt hour for these things is crazy. We'll start over here. The Elite 300. I just went to Bluetti's website before filming this video and grabbed the prices. So at the time you're watching this, they may be up, they may be down. I know we've got discount codes that'll save you a little bit more money in the description for all of these. So this price doesn't include discount pricing. $11.99 for the Elite 300, which puts it at 40 cents per watt hour. That's wild. I remember when I used to think 85 cents per watt hour was like where it starts getting reasonable. 40 cents per watt hour for the Elite 300. Apex 300, $14.99. You're paying for the massive inverter and the expandability and modularity of this thing. $14.99, which still makes it 54 cents per watt hour. That's still insane. You add on expansion batteries and that price per watt hour starts dropping even more. It's great. I mean, you can figure this out and really get below like 30 cents per watt hour. It's crazy. Elite 400, $12.99. $12.99 for almost 4,000 watt hours worth of power, which brings it to the record-breaking, crazy 34 cents per watt hour for the Elite 400. I have not seen a power station that inexpensive per watt hour in all the power stations that I've tested. That's insane. But yeah, so 34 cents per watt hour, 40 cents per watt hour, 54 cents per watt hour. These things are, from a watt hour standpoint, very, very economical for all the features that you're getting. So if you frequently need power outdoors and want something easily to move around, get the Elite 400. If you need good compact power that you can plug your RV or truck camper or overland trailer into, get the Elite 300. And if you need massive expandable power for home backup or building out a complete power system for your RV or overland build, get the Apex 300. If you have questions, let me know in the comments. 3 very similar but very different power stations, very different use cases for each one of them. I hope you found this helpful. That's the whole point of making this video, was to kind of help sift through the options and the whys and the use cases for each one of them. Hope you found this helpful. If you would, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not, give us the YouTube love. Like I said, links, discount codes, all that sort of stuff's in the description, along with our Patreon link if you want to consider supporting the channel. If you like what we're doing, you want to consider supporting us in our crazy adventures that we're about to. At the time of this video, we are 2 days away from leaving on a 4-month trip, 4 month at minimum. So that's gonna be fun. So if you want to follow along with us, hit this, all that sort of stuff. All of our merchandise, shopoverlandapparel.com, all those links in the description. So hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.